What's up, guys? Will Harkins, NPFL Pro, starting a weekly series for you guys. We're going to break down everything from bass fishing to pond fishing to tackle tips and tricks. We're going to break it all down for you to help you guys become a better, more well-rounded angler. So to start, we're going to keep it simple this week. I'm from the North Georgia mountains. We've got Lanier, Hartwell, Chattooga, Burton, Notley, all under an hour from me. So it's an awesome place to grow up and to fish because you get so many of these bodies of water so close, and get to see how they all differentiate, and it's a lot of fun, a lot of fish in these places. So as such, it's wintertime fishing. So how do you prepare to go fish in the wintertime? We're going to talk about the baits, and we're going to talk about a couple of tips and tricks when the temperatures do fall around that freezing point. You know, it can be easy to sit inside next to the fireplace and enjoy the winter, watch some football, which is what we've been stuck with this weekend because we got 3 or 4 inches of snow up here. So kind of closed the lake off for a couple days. So sitting inside, thinking, man, I want to go fish. We're just going to give y'all a simple rundown of a couple baits and then these tricks that I do. So to start off with is an old-fashioned bait. If you just want to go out to any of these bodies of waters and just catch fish right away, all you got to do is have a shaky head Senko. Number one, hands down, best bait for just getting bites, right? I like upsizing to the fat Senkos, the 4 or 5 inch, just because I feel like these fish are a little more lethargic. So that bigger profile really gets their attention, and it provides them with a bigger meal while going real slow, so they don't have to move a lot. Fills them up. We don't want to move a lot in the wintertime. We want a big, hot, nice meal. Same with these bass. Bait number 2, as always, I mean, you guys know what this is a minnow. This is the Yum Sonar Minnow, 3 inch. You keep it real simple, 1/4 ounce head. That's another great bite getter. And really, these 2 baits are fabulous with or without live scope. It doesn't matter, right? With the Sonar Minnows, I love getting on those 45-degree banks and just working it down the bank. And you can do that, like I said, without live scope. You don't need it. Just kind of keeping it right there along the bottom, working it down. That's how we did it pre-live scope, and caught plenty of fish. The second and my most favorite way to fish in the wintertime is with the Senko shaky head. Like I said, it's going to get you a ton of bites. It's a super fun way to fish. I love a good worm bite. In a later video, we're going to break down where to fish in the wintertime and kind of where these fish get and why they get there. But for now, if you would just want to go out and catch fish right now, have those 2 baits tied on. You don't need 15 or 20 rods on the deck. You don't need all these patterns. If I'm going out there, whether I'm fun fishing or in a tournament right now, those are the only 2 baits I have on my deck. It's that simple, and they get big bites. It's just as simple as that. So another thing I'd like to do in the wintertime is, most of these tournaments, most of these blast off mornings, it can drop below freezing. So number one most important thing, wear your life jacket. You fall in with all these clothes, you won't make it back in the boat. The waders and the big bibs, they'll weigh you down. So always wear a life jacket in the wintertime. And wear plenty of clothes. Face mask, gloves, things like that. The worst thing that can happen on a day of fishing is to get cold, is to get mad, and it just makes it a terrible day if you're cold all day. So wear proper clothing, wear a life jacket. And then as far as your equipment goes, I love keeping extra spools of line. I take these spools off a reel and I spool it with different line. So like if I know it's going to be 20 degrees, if you have a lot of braid on your lines, that braid, once it gets wet, is going to freeze together. Your casting distance falls to nothing. Your line gets frayed. It's very easy to get frustrated in the wintertime fishing. So I keep several of these spools on the boat, just laying down in a compartment filled with strictly just fluorocarbon. Usually I love running braid to fluoro leaders because that braid mainline, you can feel so much more. But in the wintertime, like I said, it's hard to do that. So I keep these spools, and every hour, if I feel like the ice is fraying the line, I'll just switch spools. Unscrew your drag, pop another spool on there, reline it, and you're good to go. It has prevented a lot of headaches for me this year especially. And the second thing I like to do is I actually keep a bottle of Pam cooking spray on the boat, and every 20-30 minutes I spray down my rod tips, and that just it helps them repel water, and that way your lines and your guides aren't icing over all the time. So Pam spray, having extra spools of line you can just pop on, um, and warm clothes makes these winter days a lot more enjoyable. So we're going to come back with you next week. We will dive into kind of the where we like to winter fish and what makes these places so special. So if you have questions, comments, concerns, just pop in the comments, shoot us a line. You know, I'm here to make you guys better anglers, and I'm excited to get this series going.